What's up, guys? So, to second off of Cameron's video, um, my charts have a decent amount going on, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that. So, I'm going to leave these lines on here. Let's change the ticker. Okay, that's fine. We can clear drawing set. All right, so you open it up. It looks like this, and you can leave it like this. It's not a big deal. I personally go into the settings and change my appearance. So I'll do the background black, and I'll make the bars, the, the volume down here the same color as the ticks or the candles. And what else do I do? Now let's take these away. Okay. And these are just like, I'm not really 100% sure how to explain these. They're just on the daily, there's way too much going on that I don't really prefer. And I guess I'll take foot studies off because it makes your chart look weird if you have studies on there. Okay, so here's generally what my chart looks like in a sense, as in the candle, the background, so on and so forth. So whenever I'm generally short biased. I will occasionally long, but in order to do that, I use um, exponential moving averages, and I don't ever buy off of them. I just get them. I use them for a sense of who I think is controlling the stock, and by that I mean if if a stock is constantly, going up and coming back exactly to that moving average or line, then you know there is probably manipulation in an algo that's buying off that because there's nobody in the world, a human that is that good enough to consistently, put out all these buys and over and buy and buy and buy each time it tests that line. So it's basically grinding up the line, and that's not, there's no advantage there. The advantage is whenever a stock goes down, or you know, let's just say for an example, a stock comes. I'll do this one. Okay, for an example, this. So you see how pre-market, this is before the market opens, it makes a high of 630 ish, and then it opens around 570. A lot of volume goes on around here, and it's the fourth day. This is its fourth day up. So it's just, grinding along, and it finally, starts going, a parabolic in a sense. But, shorts are all in here thinking, it's going to go down. Well, all of a sudden it goes from 530s all the way up to 620 in a matter of 10 minutes. They just got trapped. So when that happens, it just starts going, parabolic, parabolic, and that's where the advantage is whenever um, you can actually trade off of some overextension off of whatever line it was grinding off of, because then you have longs that get trapped, and then the longs will be underwater. So right here, if you bought here and you were buying for it to go higher and it dropped down 50 cents in 2 minutes, you're going to look to get out, and there's multiple people looking to get out because all this was a whole bunch of volume leading up, and it dropped with only a million shares of volume. So that's where you look to get an advantage, and it's just continuously trapping and squeezing. So let's go back to VKTX. VKTX. Okay, so we can start with the daily moving averages. Um, Now, mind you, you won't be able to find these on yours, but if in the event you would like to use these, I can in the future link them down below in the description. So I use the 5 minute, 5 minute 9, the 5 minute 20, and I use the 13, 13 minute, no, it's 10 minute, the 10 minute 13. So it's the 10-minute chart and a 13-minute exponential moving average, 5-minute chart, 20-minute or the 20 exponential moving average, 5-minute chart, 9 exponential moving average. I also use VWAP, which Cameron explained in his video. It just gives you a sense of where the average price is throughout the day, where the most orders are going throughout the whole day. Is there anything else I use? Let me think. We'll just stick for those for right now. Okay. Let's get that off there. I don't use any of that. So I edit this. I don't use the upper bands or lower bands of VWAP. And we'll call it, what's this one? 5-minute 9. We could change this so you can see it better. We'll just do white. And this one is 5-minute 20. We'll do yellow. Okay. So in a sense, I use these basically to see who's controlling the stock, as well as if it's under, it generally uses them as resistance. See right here, resistance. It keeps going down. I guess it would be before summer started. These were very prominent, meaning if, say, this were to gap up all the way up here and open above these lines, it generally would sit here and consolidate 20-30 minutes after the open and then just start blasting off and squeezing. But it's all, it's all relative to what the company is trying to accomplish here, because this was a gigantic gap. It happened. I mean, it gapped up 169% to its high in pre-market. So they're probably going to look to, make some money off of that, right? Dilute some shares out there if they have an open offering, so on and so forth, or active shelf, which, again, we can get into that in the future. But generally speaking, VWAP is used as resistance if it's underneath. See, I mean, it pops through, but it generally uses it as resistance unless it gets a lot of volume and busts through it. And, if it drops below it, again, with a lot of volume, it'll generally stay below it. But it's all relative to who's trapped, who's not trapped, kind of thing. We can go into, I wanted to show you this. So another way, I guess I could show you on NBEV an example of the stock just grinding off of it and being just manipulated the whole basically time. Let me just bring this chart over. It's easier to see. Okay. So this is NBEV. Let's double click that. Does that work? No. Does this work? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Can we just... Okay, here we go. Level 2 off. Okay. So as you can see, essentially it rode this line all the way up every day. He bounced off that line. Now this line is the 1 hour 9 exponential moving average. So I basically made one chart that I don't trade off of. I just use it to see, if it's grinding that chart or that line, then I know if it's above that line, then a backside isn't set in. The backside meaning the longs who bought way up, say this was the high and it was down here, their backside's in. Essentially, I'm looking for any bounce up towards this and basically risking off this area. But since it cracked this line with, some sort of conviction, then the backside to me is in, because it never really broke this line, and it did break it over here. This was the start of the second day, but it held this line. So, there you go. Now to me, this is an algo that's consistently buying. If you look at the time and sales, which are all the orders going through, and the level 2, which is the bid and the ask, which these are all the buyers over here. These are all the sellers over here. So if you were going to buy, you were going to want to buy at 7, you'd put the order in, and 7 would show up here with your size. You would want to sell, same thing over here. And this can be manipulated very easily. Again, get that in the future. But this is generally how I use um, my daily exponential moving averages, just to get a sense of what's going on with the stock or what I think is going on with the stock. And we can touch on other things in the future. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask.